It's going to be really difficult for me to speak, so I hate to do this, but I got up here so you could all see me.
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah. I'm working on
You
it.
got taller.
Yeah. But I do ask that while the speakers are speaking, if we could just have everyone be quiet. We'll try and run through this fairly quickly. I'm going to be speaking, and then my daughter Katie Gluck will speak, and then Dr. Suhar, and then Chris Salentino is going to do the live auction, and then the silent auction will be open for about 10 minutes after he does the live auction. But first of all, I want to welcome all to the Wine Vault Bistro. Those that do not know me, my name is Mary Gluck. Welcome to the Wine Vault. We've done 4 Scripps events. This is our 4th event, but this is our first integrative medicine event. So we're really honored to be doing this event tonight. My husband and I, we own this restaurant, and we are coming on our 8 years of owning it. And I am an integrated medicine patient, and some of you that are here tonight are, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this event tonight. But I have some personal stories to tell you of why I go to integrated medicine. And it starts with my heredity, and it's my father. And my father was born in Wamego, Kansas, and at the age of 7, he moved to Los Angeles, where his father was a general contractor. At the age of 10, his dad died from cancer, and so he was raised by my grandmother. And he went on to USC. He put himself through with the help of scholarships and working, went into World War II. He was in the Navy, and when he got out, he was accepted at Stanford, Yale, and University of Michigan to law school. So I went to University of Michigan Law School, and while he was there, he decided to really follow his true passion, and that was to fly. And so he tried to enter a flight school, and they said, "I'm sorry, we cannot take you because you're a law student, and the insurance laws do not allow you to fly, to take flying lessons because you're categorized as a student." So he said, "Fine, I'll start my own aircraft insurance company." And it became the 2nd largest in the United States. I grew up in airplane hangars, fly-ins, you know, it was kind of a fun life. But not only was my father a great businessman, he was an amazing father. And he was humorous. Everything I did he thought was funny. We had a great time growing up. And he wanted me to follow my dreams like he had followed his. And my dream, and those that know me know this, that my dream has always been interior design. So from the age of 5, I wanted to become an interior designer. And he encouraged me. And at some point I ended up at a school called Eastern Michigan University, which is right next to Ann Arbor, where I was raised. And when I was going there, I started taking a look at my classmates and seeing what they were producing, and I thought, I'm going to be a famous designer, this is not where I want to be. So I went home and I told my parents that I really wanted to go to the University of Arizona, and they went along with it. And so I entered the University of Arizona, and while I was there, I got a phone call from my dad, and he said, "Your mother and I are coming out for your 21st birthday." He said, "I'm opening up an Airway Underwriters office in Phoenix. We've made our trip around your birthday." So I was really excited, and they came out. They spent the day with me. And when my parents, after the end of the day, when they went to get into the rental car, and I walked them down, they got in the rental car, and I looked at my father. It was March 14th, and I said to myself, I will never see him again. And here was a man that was in perfect health. He was an avid sailor. He was strong. He never smoked. He wasn't fat. He didn't drink. And I just knew I would not see him. So I didn't know what to do with that information. And I went upstairs to my dorm room, and I started writing him a letter. And I spent about 2 weeks on the letter because I wanted him to know how important he was to me. And every word had to count. So I composed the letter, and after a couple of weeks of working on it, I sent it to him. And by now, you know, it's mid-April. And I called him up and I said, "Dad, I wrote you a letter. Did you get it?" "Mary, I didn't get that letter." "Oh, okay." And I was starting to get anxious because I thought something would happen to him before he read the letter and knew how important he was to me. So I waited a few days. I called him again. I said, Dad, did you get that letter? No, Mary, I didn't get that letter. Well, now I'm getting very anxious. And then he said to me, where'd you send it? I said, I sent it to the office. He said, well, that's why I haven't gotten it. He said, I haven't been there for a week. Oh, okay. A few days later was May 3rd. It was his 53rd birthday. So I called him up, and I didn't even say happy birthday. I said, Dad, did you get my letter? He said, Fella, I got your letter. He said, I wrote you back. It'll be in your mailbox tomorrow morning. And this was a Sunday, and the next day was a Monday. And I knew mail got in at 11. I rushed to class, and I couldn't wait to get back to the mailbox to pick up the letter. Anyway, this is the letter that I got from my dad. It's a copy. But I would like to read the first sentence. He says, Dear Mary, I'm sitting here with a lump in my throat, having reread your letter for the umpteenth time. What I didn't know was that my father had just died of a heart attack. And he died while I was reading the letter. So, integrative medicine is very important to me in that I did not want to follow my father's fate. If my father had known Katie and Dr. Suhar, I feel like he would have lived another 20 years. And that's why I have followed the path of integrative medicine. And then, so that's why you're all here tonight, and that's why I personally see a doctor. But I'd like to tell you about our daughter, Katie. She is one of the most special people that I know. How many of you know Katie? And if you know her, you have been touched by her. She is the most amazing person, and she's been amazing since the day she was born. But when she went to Cal Poly, she graduated from Cal Poly, and when she got back from Cal Poly, and she lived with us for about a year, all I could notice was what she was reading, and it was health magazines and culinary magazines. And so finally she approached Chris and I, and she said, I want to go to a plant-based culinary school. So in January, she went to Austin, Texas, and she spent 6 months there. And then she came back to us at the end of June, and she started doing cooking classes here at the Wine Vault. And her classes are amazing. And we have Bonnie and Ken here tonight. I'm not sure where they're at.
Right here.
Right there. They took her first class here at the Wine Vault. And the next couple days they came in, and Ken pulled me aside. He says, Mary, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but we've never slept so good as we did the night that we had the cooking class with Katie. And then he says, and we had more energy than we've ever had the next day. Ken, that wasn't a coincidence. So she's an amazing teacher, and she has a gift in a classroom that will light up a classroom. And so we just want to promote her, and I've never seen anybody with the passion that she has and the teaching talent that she has, that people will ask her the most obscure things and she knows what it is. And we have the little sheets around with, if you want to sign up for her email list, and we've got them stationed in a couple different places, so feel free to sign up. And the second person I want to introduce is Dr. Suhar. And as you know now what my history is, but when I was in my 40s, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And I just didn't want to take a pill. I wanted to become active in my health. And so I talked to Joe Bauer, who's straight ahead, Dr. Joe Bauer at Scripps, and I said, who can I go to that's going to be a partner with me in my health and guide me? And he said, Mary, I got the doctor for you, Dr. Christopher Suhar, and we've been together for over 5 years. And it's been amazing. And so what Katie and Dr. Suhar share is their passion for eating healthy, taking vitamins, and exercising. And they share so much. And I just want to have Katie stand up here and talk and tell her story. And Chris and I appreciate you coming so much. And we're so excited about promoting good health through integrative medicine, which means taking charge of your health along with your doctor and your guidance, but you taking an active role through eating properly, vitamins, and exercise. Okay?
Not really sure.
Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna trump that. I actually didn't know that story, so it's.
That's another thing I should tell you is that in my life, I have told that story to about 5 people. So it was really difficult for me to tell you that story. That's something that I have harbored and just only shared it just recently with my roommate from college and her husband. But if I could change a life by telling a story that was so painful for me, if something will change tonight of a story you heard from me. People think that Chris and I are in the business of the restaurant. We're not. We're in the business of changing lives. And if something that you would learn here tonight would change your life, it's whatever, how painful it was for me to tell you, it's all worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, my mom is probably the most amazing person that I've ever met. She doesn't know this, but she's my role model. She's everything that I ever wanted to be. And coincidentally, the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because of my mom. So I have a little story here. I'm going to read it off my paper because I'm really nervous and I don't want to forget anything. So I remember exactly where I was when my mom told me she had cancer. That crippling fear of the unknown completely overwhelmed me, literally making me sick to my stomach. I thought cancer would never affect the people that I loved. But it did. Words like surgery and radiation started coming up, along with this feeling that there was nothing that I could do. From that moment on, something changed inside of me. I knew that I never wanted myself or anyone else to hear that gut-wrenching diagnosis or have that feeling of being out of control of their own health. At the time, I had just started my second year of college. Instead of studying, I was devouring any book on health. I mean, literally anything. I was like grabbing magazines from the library, just everything I could get my hands on. And with all this health that I was learning about, is the fascination of health led me actually to the kitchen because I realized that that's where true health begins. I soon realized that the food we eat has a powerful impact on our health. Food went from something that I literally never thought about to something that controlled every single thought. And I knew I couldn't keep eating pizza and hamburgers, but didn't really know what to replace it with. So I read a book called The Kind Diet on a trip home for Thanksgiving, and it filled in the missing gaps for me. It not only clearly explained the health benefits of a plant-based diet, but also gave some amazing recipes. Well, needless to say, I came home as a vegan for Thanksgiving. Many people told me it would be too restricting. I can't tell you how many people have asked me, and please never ask me this, how do I get my protein? Just, I'm begging you. And that I would never get over the cravings for animal products. Well, none of that actually happened to me. But I did feel amazing and empowered. Soon, I was whipping up elaborate dinners for my friends and preaching about the health benefits of fruits and veggies. You can just ask any of my coworkers. They're always eating Cheetos and drinking Red Bulls, and I'm telling them, no. You gotta hide that from me if you're gonna be eating it. And now they know better. So, and then through the years, my passion for health literally exploded to the point where I needed to learn more than I could from my books. So after saving for 3 years, I was able to attend the Natural Epicurean, which is a holistic plant-based culinary school and the only one in the US. My dream is to pair the knowledge I've learned with a culinary school so people know what to eat and more importantly, why to eat it. I want to make food an event, something that excites the palate yet is simple and healthy. Teaching cooking classes has been such a blessing in my life because for the first time, I feel like I can make a difference in people's lives. Teaching them to cook.
Slow down, sweetie, we love you.
Teaching cooking classes has been such a blessing in my life because for the first time, I feel like I can make a difference in people's lives. Teaching them to cook amazing food that will give them a healthier life. What I've learned through all my experiences is that with in each and every one of us, we have the ability to heal and live the healthiest and happiest life. This has literally changed my life. I'm living my dream because of it.
Can everybody hear me okay, or is it?
Yeah, but you can jump up and down.
That's the other way.
Do I look like Britney Spears? Hello, is it working? Are we okay?
Yeah.
No?
It's not working.
Oh, it's not. How about now? No? Yep.
It's a left-handed mic.
It's the big earphone.
It's got the big ears.
Yeah. Testing.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Suhar. I'm the director of the Scripps Center for Integrative Medicine. And my heart is wide open. I thank Mary for opening my heart. I am very touched by the story she shared. I've had the honor to have her as my patient for 5 years. And for those of you not in medicine, to be able to touch people is the greatest gift from God. I am very touched that I've had the opportunity to affect Mary, to affect Chris, and to be a part of her life and to hear a story that she shared with us that she's not opened up before. I've never heard that story, so that was very touching, Mary. I would like a round of applause for Mary, please. I also have had the honor to meet Katie. Katie I just met recently. I've known Mary and Chris for a number of years, but Katie I just met recently. Mary brags about her daughters all the time, so I've heard about them.
Really?
I just recently got to meet Katie, and Katie is another example of the movement that's happening now, a movement towards health. And nowadays, especially with the chaos that's going on in our world, with all of the financial crashes and disease rates going up and the housing market crash, it's nice to focus on things that really matter, and your health is truly something that should matter to all of us. Katie is embarking on an endeavor to impact people through health, and I'm honored to know Katie and continue to work with her. So I'd also like to give Katie a round of applause.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like to start, I'm not going to talk that long, I've been limited, but I like to start when I speak with a simple exercise, something that may be new to a lot of you. And so what I'm going to ask everybody here to do is in just a moment, I'm going to ask everybody to close their eyes. Now, we've been drinking wine, so try to balance it. Hold on to something, okay? But we're going to close our eyes in just a moment. We're going to breathe. We're all going to breathe together for 19 seconds. We're going to take a deep breath in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 7. And then we're going to breathe out for 8. And I'm going to do the counting. Okay, so let's everybody close your eyes. I'm watching so I can see you all. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, open your eyes. Now, first of all, I don't know if anybody heard it. It's really cool to take a collective breath together. It's actually relaxing just to hear that. So I like to listen to my breath when I breathe. Secondly, for 19 seconds, all we did was breathe. We didn't think about something else. You heard my voice and that was it. There's no side effects from that breathing exercise. There's no interaction with your drugs. You can do it anywhere, it's portable. I recommend you keep your eyes open when you drive. And most importantly, it's free. I'm not selling you something. All right? And there actually is research on that breathing technique. I was taught that technique by Dr. Andy Weil. And there's actually research that has been done on that. But who cares? It's not costing anything, it doesn't hurt you, and it feels good. So who cares if there's research on it? There is a lot of good research in integrative medicine, but that's one example of I could care less if there's research, if something feels good and it helps. So the real question I like to ask following that exercise is why would a cardiologist, I got my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, very scientific. I worked actually for a company, I was building a crankshaft for the North Star engine on the Cadillac. Very cool engine, by the way. Very scientific background. My father was an architect. I was brought up that way. I go into medicine. I'm a cardiologist. Again, very aggressive type A kind of field. Or, I love code blues. I actually run to them. I don't like when I hate when a patient struggles, of course, but I like the opportunity to help the patient. But why would somebody like me believe that something as simple as that breathing exercise can have just as much impact as a stent or a statin? That's the real question. What happened? Now, as I begin this talk, I like to just explain that answer. We're hearing a lot about our personal stories, but it gives an understanding of why I get up here and talk in front of people and I'm so passionate. What had happened with me personally, when I was a young child, my father was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer at age 32. He was a smoker, and he was given 6 months to live. And it was spread all over his body. And my mom asked for chemotherapy and radiation, and his oncologist refused. They said, nope, no point. And so 6 months go by. They actually gave him marijuana, and they really did. And he didn't smoke it. He quit smoking that day. He didn't smoke it. So 6 months went by, and he comes back to the doctor and like, oh, okay, you're still alive, but you'll be dead in 6 more months. And then he came back in 6 months, and okay, you'll be dead in 6 months. And this went on for about 3 years. And finally, his oncologist said, okay, you're still alive. Let's go ahead and try something. And they started doing some traditional medicine. In that meantime, my father had a lot of support from family, a lot of support from his church, a lot of love. He had quit smoking, didn't smoke marijuana, which I do believe smoking marijuana does increase your risk of cancer and atherosclerosis. There's other ways to take marijuana that are safer. But smoking it is just like smoking cigarettes, in my opinion. But they started doing traditional therapies. He cleaned up his diet, he lost weight, and after 7 more years, a total of 10 years of total health, 7 major surgeries, a lot of chemotherapy, radiation. He used to cry like a baby when he'd go in for his week. He'd go in for a whole weekend back in the late 70s. He was deemed cancer-free. So it was a true miracle. I've had the opportunity. His oncologist had been one of his best friends for many, many decades. My father actually built his house. He was an architect and helped design and build his house. They were very close. I had an opportunity to talk to him, and it was a true miracle. He never could understand why my father lived. Well, my father at age 52 got diabetes, type 2 adult onset diabetes, and died at age 62 from diabetes. I was a medical resident at that